I'm Newoka LaShelle, non-traditional student at St. Louis University School for Professional Studies, and this problem solution speech was prepared for the public speaking and organizational life class. My speech topic is on rape and sexual assault that has occurred on college campuses and beyond. I know that this topic is extremely hard for some people to discuss. However, one of the problems that society is having with this particular topic is that people are not reporting some of these incidents. And then there are people who have experienced things of this nature and they have a hard time finding the correct or the right resources in order to make it through. So we're going to talk about some of the problems with underreporting. We're going to also talk about some of the problems with law enforcement once the crime has been reported. And we're also going to talk about some of the solutions on what the survivor can do and some of the proper resources that they can take in order to get the kind of help that is needed. Let's go over some of the statistics first. So far, based on the statistics that I have been able to research, according to the American Medical Association, 1995, sexual violence and rape in particular is considered the most underreported violent crime. The most common reasons given by victims are not for not reporting rapes are the belief that it is a personal or private matter and that they fear reprisal from the assailant. And that's totally understandable. A person who has experienced something of this nature, it's very hard to be able to talk to somebody in detail about what has occurred and what has happened. However, it is very important for the survivor to understand that it is not your fault. And so there are also false reports as well, but we're going to focus more on the underreporting as part of this problem. If something like this happens to you and you are on college campus, um, your college should have resources available to the survivor in order for you to be able to get some type of help. When it comes to law enforcement, a lot of the time they have to deal with the false reports. And then, like it says here, according to FBI reports, consistently put the number of unfounded rape accusations around 8%. However, RAIN is the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. You can find them online at www.rain.org. That's www.rainn.org. And the statistics show that 44% of victims are under the age of 18, 80% are under the age of 30. Every 2 minutes, someone in the U.S. is sexually assaulted. Every year, there are about 213,000 victims of sexual assault. 60% of sexual assaults are not reported to police, which is where we go back to the underreporting. 15 of 16 rapists will never spend a day in jail. Approximately two-thirds of assaults are committed by someone known to the victim, which would be considered to be an acquaintance. And 38% of rapes are a friend, and like I said, an acquaintance. So that with saying this, you can look at the statistics at Rain. They do collect this information. They do have this is like the only one that I know that uses the instant messaging in order to correspond with survivors. I do not like to call people victims. I really like to consider people who have experienced this type of thing as a survivor. And there are ways that you can go about reporting what has happened to you to with the local law enforcement. And if you are having problems with the local law enforcement, you can always go over their heads, whether people know it or not. There's always somebody over somebody else. So um, at one particular incident, when I talked to a survivor, she reported to the police department what happened to her at a party. This was a few years back, and the detectives got involved. The detectives actually came out to her house. They talked to her. They talked to the person that was accused, And of course, the person that was accused denied that it happened. Once they say it's consensual, that's where the problem comes in. So you're going to have a hard time proving that it was rape. And so the next thing that you do once your case is closed, if your case has ever been closed and you're dealing with something like this, you can go over the police department's head, including the detectives, and go directly to the prosecuting attorney's office. You can write to them via email or you can write to them via letters. This particular person, this survivor, she contacted 37, and that's 37 prosecuting attorneys, and one got back to her. One did get back to her that was dealing with the police department where her case was closed. 7 days later, her case was reopened. And so that's actually a very good step in the right direction in order to get some type of justice. If this person who was accused of rape, if he ever does it again, at least it's on paper that he has been accused of the crime before. I am going to conclude my speech with some of the questions that I did ask during an interview with a St. Louis County police officer. And there was only a few questions that were asked. He's been a police officer for the past 11 years, and he's been on many rape and sexual assault cases. And some of the advice that he has given is to ensure that you don't wait, report it as soon as possible. Whatever has happened to you, make sure you get to an emergency room. Make sure that you are able to go ahead and have the rape kit taken to collect that evidence. And that was one of the things that he wanted to make sure that I included in my paper. That's to make sure you don't wait. And also make sure that you use all available resources to you. I'm Newoka LaShelle, and this concludes my problem solution speech. Thank you.